Have you ever found yourself lying there, wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering what happened to the days when you could fall asleep as soon as your head hit the pillow? Maybe you toss and turn. Maybe your legs ache. Maybe your mind just won't shut off. And even when you do sleep, you wake up still feeling tired, like you didn't really rest at all. You tell yourself, maybe this is just part of getting older, but deep down, you can't help but wonder, is this normal? Or is my body trying to tell me something? You're not alone. So many people after 70 feel the same way, confused, frustrated, and even a little afraid to talk about it. Because here's the truth, sleep does change as we age. But it's not just about being a light sleeper or waking up early. It's deeper than that. Your sleep now affects your memory, your mood, your heart health, even your risk for things like falls and chronic illness. And yet, so many seniors ignore the signs. They suffer quietly, thinking it's just what happens with age. But what if it doesn't have to be that way? What if there is a better time to go to bed after 70, a time that aligns with your body's natural rhythm and helps you wake up feeling sharper, more energized, and at peace? In this video, we're going to explore exactly that. You'll learn what time doctors recommend seniors should be heading to bed, and more importantly, why. You'll find out how your body's internal clock changes after 70. Why those late-night TV marathons or afternoon naps might be doing more harm than good. And how to make small, simple changes that could lead to deeper sleep and better health, even if you've struggled for years. So, before you reach for another pill, or convince yourself that nothing can be done, take a few moments with me. Let's talk honestly about what your body truly needs. Because better sleep isn't just possible. It's essential. Comment, sleepless nights, if you've ever wondered whether your bedtime habits are helping or hurting your health. And if you're ready to take back control of your rest, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips, where we share real, trusted advice to help you live healthier, stronger, and wiser every single day. Let's get into it. You deserve better sleep, and we're going to show you how. Let me tell you about George. He's 73 years old. For most of his life, George was a night owl, the kind of man who'd stay up until midnight, maybe even 1 a.m., watching the late-night news, flipping through old movies, or reading just one more chapter. But something changed. Lately, he found himself waking up at 4 in the morning. Not just once in a while, every single day. And the worst part? He felt drained, not rested. His eyes were heavy by mid-morning, his energy dipped before lunch, and he couldn't remember the last time he felt truly refreshed. He thought, maybe I have insomnia. Maybe it's just part of getting older. But when he finally spoke to his doctor, the answer wasn't what he expected. You see, after the age of 70, your body's circadian rhythm, that internal clock that tells you when to sleep and when to wake, naturally starts to shift. It's not broken. It's not failing you. It's just changing. Your body starts getting sleepy earlier in the evening. And melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep, starts releasing sooner than it used to. That's why doctors now recommend that seniors aim to go to bed between 8 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. This time frame is when your body is naturally beginning to slow down. It's when your brain and hormones are working with you, not against you, to prepare for restful, healing sleep. But here's the problem. So many seniors, maybe even you, try to hold on to the same routines they had in their 40s or 50s. Staying up late, watching TV under bright lights, checking phones or tablets. And the result? Your natural rhythm gets thrown off. You fall asleep later, but still wake up early. That means less deep sleep, more daytime fatigue, and even trouble with memory and concentration. And here's the part no one tells you, it's not just about when you sleep, it's about how well you sleep during those hours. If you're constantly missing your body's sleep window, you may never drop into the deeper, more restorative phases of rest your brain and body desperately need. So, what can you do? Start small. Around 7 p.m., begin winding down. Dim the lights in your home. Softer lighting helps signal to your brain that it's time to power down. Put away screens, phones, tablets, even bright TVs, because the blue light they emit blocks melatonin production. Maybe make a cup of warm, caffeine-free herbal tea. Listen to some soft music. And try getting into bed just 15 or 20 minutes earlier than usual. Your body is asking for rest, and when you start listening to it, even in small ways, the difference can be remarkable. But remember, bedtime is only one piece of the puzzle. Because knowing when to sleep is important. But knowing how long to sleep, and how that changes after 70, is just as crucial. Now let me tell you about Martha. She's 78. Sharp as ever, loves her garden, and never misses her morning crossword. She usually goes to bed around 8:30 p.m., wakes up just after 2:30 in the morning, and gets up for good by 4. That's a little over 6 hours of sleep. And you know what? She feels fine. But every time her daughter visits, she says, "Mom, that's not enough. You should be sleeping 8 hours." That's what all the articles say. Sound familiar? There's this common belief that everyone needs exactly 8 hours of sleep. But here's what doctors who work closely with older adults are saying now. It's not that simple. Yes, most sleep experts suggest that adults over 65 aim for about 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. But here's the real key, it's not just about how long you sleep, it's about how well you sleep. Some seniors like Martha do perfectly fine with 6.5 hours of solid, uninterrupted rest. Others might need closer to 8. And still others may think they're getting enough sleep, but they wake up groggy, moody, or unfocused, signs that their quality of sleep isn't right, even if the quantity looks okay on paper. What many don't realize is that both too little and too much sleep can cause problems. Getting too little sleep, especially under 6 hours regularly, is linked to higher risks of falls, memory lapses, and even heart issues. But on the flip side, sleeping too long, say, 9 hours or more, might actually be a warning sign. It could signal conditions like depression, chronic inflammation, or even early-stage cognitive decline. That's why obsessing over the number alone can be misleading. And here's a mistake I see all too often: some older adults, thinking they need more rest, force themselves to go to bed too early, stay in bed too long, or nap excessively during the day. This backfires. It throws off their body clock, makes nighttime sleep more fragmented, and ironically, leaves them feeling less rested overall. So, here's what really matters: track how you feel. Do you wake up feeling clear-headed? Do you stay fairly alert through most of the day, even into the afternoon? Do you feel balanced, emotionally and physically? If the answer is yes, even if you're not hitting that 8-hour mark, you might already be at your body's sweet spot. Everyone's rhythm is different, especially after 70. This stage of life isn't about chasing perfect numbers. It's about tuning into how your body responds, and honoring that rhythm with intention and care. But even if you've nailed the timing and you're getting the right amount of sleep for your body, there's something else that can sneak in and rob you of rest. Those frequent nighttime wake-ups, the tossing, turning, bathroom trips, or waking up for no reason at all, can quietly chip away at your health. So, let's take a closer look at it. Because waking up in the middle of the night isn't always just one of those things. Sometimes, it's your body's way of waving a red flag. Have you ever had a night where you fall asleep just fine, only to wake up again at 1 a.m., then again at 3, then again at 5, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you'll ever sleep through the night again? That was Dorothy's story. She's 75, lives alone, and like many, chalked it up to just aging. She'd say, "This is what happens after 70, right? Sleep just isn't the same." She accepted it, night after night, year after year. But when she finally brought it up to her doctor, almost as an afterthought, something unexpected happened. Her doctor didn't nod and say, "That's normal." He looked concerned. He started asking more questions. Turns out, Dorothy's frequent wake-ups weren't just because of aging. She was dealing with a mild form of sleep apnea, where her breathing briefly stopped during sleep, jolting her awake. Add to that a prescription medication she'd been taking for years that was quietly messing with her sleep cycles. And, like many women her age, bladder urgency was pulling her out of bed more than once a night. Now here's the truth no one tells you enough: waking up occasionally at night is common as we age. But waking up 3, 4, 5 times a night, that's not just aging. That's your body trying to tell you something. It could be your lungs, your heart, your bladder, or even your brain chemistry being affected by a medication that your younger body once tolerated just fine. Yet so many seniors fall into this mindset of, "I'm old. This is how it's supposed to be." And that belief, it's not just wrong, it's dangerous. Because it stops you from asking questions. It keeps you from looking deeper. And it delays the kind of help that could change everything. That's why keeping a sleep diary, just a small notebook by your bed, can be incredibly powerful. Each morning, jot down when you went to bed, how many times you woke up, what time, and how you felt when you got up. Patterns will start to appear. And if you find yourself waking more than 3 times a night consistently, it's time to have a conversation, not with Google, not with friends, but with your doctor. Sleep fragmentation doesn't have to be your new normal. You deserve better rest. Your body is not meant to suffer silently, night after night. But here's something most people overlook. Even if your bedtime is right, even if your sleep duration seems solid, and even if you're managing those wake-ups, there's still one sneaky factor that could be throwing your sleep off balance: what you eat, and when you eat it. Because your dinner, and even your late-night snack, might be keeping you up more than you think. Let me tell you about Frank. He's 80, lives with his cat, and loves his nightly routine: a few saltine crackers, a glass of soda, and his favorite crime drama playing softly in the background around 10 p.m. To him, it's comfort. To his body, though, it's chaos. You see, Frank didn't realize that this cozy habit, the late-night snack, the flickering screen, and that fizzy drink, was slowly undoing all his efforts to get a good night's sleep. And here's why. First, let's talk about food. When you eat too close to bedtime, your body shifts into digestion mode. And digestion, it demands energy, movement, and heat, the exact opposite of what your body needs when it's trying to slow down and enter rest mode. That late dinner or snack might seem harmless, but it can delay melatonin production. That's the natural hormone your brain releases to help you fall asleep. Now add caffeine into the mix, even in decaf form. A lot of folks don't know this, but decaf coffee still contains caffeine. Not much, but enough. And as we age, our bodies process caffeine more slowly. So even that late afternoon cup, or a piece of chocolate after dinner, can linger in your system and keep your brain too alert when it's supposed to be winding down. And then there's the screen. TVs, phones, tablets, even that e-reader you love. All of them emit blue light, a wavelength that tells your brain, hey, it's still daytime. This suppresses melatonin and shifts your circadian clock later, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. But here's the thing. It's not about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about small shifts that respect the way your body changes with age. So, if you want better sleep, here's what the experts recommend: eat dinner by 6:30 p.m. Give your body time to digest before bed. Swap soda or coffee for a warm cup of chamomile or ginger tea, naturally soothing and caffeine-free. Cut screen time at least 60 minutes before bed. Instead, pick up a book, listen to soft music, or sit quietly and reflect on the day. Even dimming the lights around 7 p.m. can cue your brain to start producing melatonin. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. And when you get into a sleep-friendly rhythm, your body responds in kind. But there's still one more piece to the puzzle, one that often gets overlooked because it feels so innocent. Naps. Are they helping you recharge? Or are they secretly sabotaging your sleep at night? Because what you do during the day matters just as much as what happens at night. Naps. Meet Carlos. He's 76, energetic in the morning, but after lunch, the drowsiness hits hard. So he does what many do, he stretches out on the couch around 1 p.m. Pulls a blanket over himself. And before he knows it, 2 hours have gone by. He wakes up groggy. Has a cup of coffee to shake it off. Then, by 10 p.m., he's staring at the ceiling. Wide awake. Frustrated. Wondering why he can't fall asleep like he used to. Now here's the truth behind what's happening, and it all comes down to something called sleep pressure. See, your body naturally builds up sleep pressure the longer you're awake. It's like slowly filling a tank. By nightfall, if you haven't napped, that tank is full, and your body is ready to rest. But when you take a long nap, especially anything over 45 minutes, you actually release some of that pressure early. You empty the tank halfway, so when bedtime rolls around, your body says, "I'm not that tired yet." That's why long or late naps, even if they feel refreshing in the moment, can disrupt your natural sleep rhythm and leave you tossing and turning at night. Now don't get me wrong. Naps aren't the enemy. In fact, short naps can do wonders, especially if you didn't sleep well the night before. But it's all about timing and duration. Here's what doctors recommend: keep naps short. 20 to 30 minutes max. Take them before 3 p.m., ideally between 12:30 and 2 o'clock, when your body's energy naturally dips. Avoid napping in bed. Use a comfy chair or sofa to keep the signal to your brain clear. Bedtime is for nighttime sleep. This small shift in your daily routine can make a huge difference. You'll fall asleep easier, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling more rested. Because let's be honest, when sleep becomes a nightly struggle, it doesn't just tire you out physically. It chips away at your peace, your mood, even your confidence. But here's the good news: you're not powerless. Not at all. You've just uncovered some of the biggest truths doctors wish every senior knew about sleep after 70. And now, you're no longer in the dark. So, let's take a moment to talk about what all of this really means. Not just for your sleep, but for your health, your independence, and your sense of calm. Let's step into the heart of it all. You know, watching your sleep change over time, or maybe watching your partner, your spouse, someone you've shared a bed with for decades, toss and turn, night after night, that can feel heavy, confusing, even a little scary. Because no one talks about it. People expect you to just get used to it. But how do you get used to lying awake at 3 a.m. with a racing mind? How do you ignore the fatigue that creeps into your mornings? The worry that this might be the new normal? And when you try to talk about it, sometimes all you get are blank stares, or advice that doesn't really help. But here's the truth, and I hope you let this sink in: you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not broken. What you're going through, it's part of aging, yes, but aging doesn't mean surrender. It doesn't mean giving up restful sleep, sharp mornings, or a clear mind. It just means your body is asking for something different. A new rhythm. A gentler routine. One that listens to what your body's telling you, not what worked 20 years ago. And here's where the shift happens, because once you understand the why behind these changes, you get your power back. Suddenly, it's not about struggling through the night. It's about making small choices that actually work with your body. So, here's a simple challenge for you: tonight, just try adjusting your bedtime. Not by an hour, not by some big overhaul. Just 15 minutes earlier. Dim the lights, skip the late-night snack, maybe sip some warm chamomile tea. Then see how you feel after a few days. Pay attention to your body, not the clock. Not what someone else says. But you. Because you deserve sleep that leaves you feeling rested, sharp, and alive, not just so you can live longer, but so you can live better. With more joy. More energy. More presence for the people and moments that truly matter. And if no one has told you this lately, let me say it now. There is still time to feel better. To sleep deeper. To wake up with clarity and peace in your heart. It starts with one small change. And tonight, you've already taken the first step. So, let's take a moment to gently go over everything we covered today, because I want to make sure these insights stay with you long after the video ends. First, we explored the ideal bedtime for seniors, and how shifting your routine to somewhere between 8 o'clock and 9:30 p.m. can actually help your body sync with its natural rhythms again. Remember George? Once he moved his bedtime, he finally started waking up rested, not restless. Then we dove into how much sleep seniors really need. And while the average is 7 to 8 hours, we also learned it's not just about the number, it's about how refreshed you feel the next day. Martha's story taught us that your personal rhythm matters more than ticking off hours on a clock. Next, we talked about night wakings, and how waking up at 1, 3, and 5 a.m. isn't always just part of getting older. Dorothy's frequent wake-ups were a sign of something deeper, and many of us might be overlooking real health issues by chalking it up to age. Then came Frank, and how nighttime habits like eating late, drinking soda, and screen time may seem harmless, but can quietly steal away our sleep by messing with melatonin and confusing the body's clock. And finally, we met Carlos, whose 2-hour naps were robbing his nights. We learned that naps aren't bad, but they have to be short, and taken before 3 p.m., to truly support better nighttime sleep. Now here's where you come in. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What time do you usually go to bed, and do you feel it's working for you? Seriously. Tell me. Because your answer could help someone else watching feel a little less alone, a little more understood. And yes, I read every single comment, and I always appreciate the wisdom you share. If something in this video helped you rethink your sleep, if a little light bulb went off or you felt a moment of clarity, go ahead and give this video a like, and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. We're not here to overwhelm you with medical jargon or throw confusing science your way. We're here to walk beside you, with clarity, compassion, and real solutions that help you feel better, stronger, and more in control of your health as you age. So, thank you, truly, for sharing these moments with me today. As you wind down tonight, remember, you are worthy of deep, peaceful sleep. Not just for your body, but for your heart. For your mind. For the joyful days still ahead. Sleep well, stay wise. And I'll see you in the next video.